the Oprah offense. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
The Cowboys look good. 3-0 starts.
1, 2, 3. And a black cat has taken the field.
This Cowboys season doesn't go the way it was expected to. Blame that guy.
Throws down the middle, intercepted.
And Prescott's going to get sacked.
What a horrible effort.
It's losing.
Elliott not a factor at all.
We've got to win a football game.
Y'all know this ball tomorrow, right?
This is the ball game. Throwing it deep. The ball is broken up.
The makeup of this team, I shouldn't be this frustrated.
The Eagles have eliminated the Dallas Cowboys.
Disappointing season is going to affect some of the most dramatic change the Cowboys have ever seen.
Mike Garafolo, our guy, did report yesterday that former Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett met with the Giants about their offensive coordinator position. And it's been a long time, Trey, since we've seen him as an offensive coordinator. It's been 10 years, so I will remind you that in his 4 years as an OC, he did finish inside the top 3 twice as an offense, inside the top 10 3 times. He had a big role in Tony Romo's success early on, especially.
Jason Garrett was a really good offensive coordinator, and I think he was at his best from 2007 to 2013, and that's when Bill Callahan was the offensive line coach, and they had some help with that. And Callahan is currently out of work at the moment now, too. Maybe that's the match. But this would be a real ego check for a former NFL head coach to go to the rival team as a coordinator. And I don't think Jason Garrett has this outsized ego. I think if he wants to coach football, the Giants are a team he played for. He's got a good relationship with that management. And he grew up in this area. He's a Princeton guy, and his family's always been New Jersey-based. I don't think it's the craziest thing. Is it the most innovative pick with the way that NFL coordinators now, like Joe Brady in Carolina's 30 years old out of LSU? No, probably not. But Jason Garrett can call some plays. Jason Garrett knows his football, and maybe he'd be a good veteran presence, just like a Wade Phillips was for Sean McVay, a good veteran presence for Joe Judge, who's never been an NFL head coach.
I love it for the Giants. I always like when you can get a head coach as your coordinator. It's like you're getting a discount and there's more leadership. I would just wonder, Jason Garrett, don't you just want to go to the Virgin Islands for a while? Don't you want to go and chill? It has been a long, long run. And not only to show up and go back to the grind, but take a massive demotion. Think of those meetings. He ain't sitting at the head of the table. He's down over here. And the guy at the head of the table, Joe Judge, he's going to sit there and take orders from him. I really honestly wonder. And if there's something about, their spite or he wants to get back at the Cowboys, it was the softest, nicest breakup of all time. I don't say I could possibly have that. If the Giants want to bring him in, I think he has the goods. I can't imagine Jason Garrett going in because he's going to want to be head coach again.
Right.
So he's going to be there and be a coordinator for a year or two and move his family from the 8 acres he's got in Dallas. I don't know. I can't imagine. Just do it like your running back did last summer. Just go to Cabo for a while and chill, please.
Yeah. From a creative standpoint, this isn't the pick that I imagined. And if you're a player, you don't look at Jason Garrett as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys as the one that's going to come in and change your offense. As a fan, they're sitting back saying, all right, so let me think about the Dallas Cowboys offense over the last few years. Pretty good. They have Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, but if they really want to break it down, it wasn't necessarily Jason Garrett calling the offense the last few years. Kellen Moore, who got the upgrade to be the offense coordinator. Before that was Scott Linehan, who they fired. But with that said, people are still saying, well, Jason Garrett was a head coach, offensive-minded guy, so weren't all the final decisions had to go through him? Didn't he have to review the game plan? Didn't he have to look at the first 15 plays of every game? So if you're a Giants fan or a Giants player, is this the guy that you want to help revamp your offense? Yeah. When you're seeing teams like Lamar Jackson and Ravens, even though it might be more run-based, they still broke a record this year, the best rushing attack of all time. You're looking at the Titans and what they do. Old school, hard-nosed football, but it's anchored by a team that can center around a great running back. I mean, they have Saquon, right? Why can't they beat the Titans? Well, if you're a wide receiver group, you're like, okay, we got Ingram, Shepard, Golden Tate, we have Slayton. We have all these different individuals. Why can't we be like the Chiefs? Why can't we have that? So if I'm looking at Jason Garrett, I don't think that we can mimic some of the best offenses in the league. The only thing you can hope for if Jason Garrett does get the job is that he reinvents himself. Because sometimes coaches can do that, and we forget about how they used to run offenses. I think one of the best coaches to do that to date right now is Andy Reid. And that's why he's in the position that he's in every single offseason, where he is getting player after player after player, and these guys become household names year in and year out because he constantly reinvents himself to mold his offense around the players, not vice versa.
How is this going with the pulse of the fan base?
I think there's a lot of shock that A, he'd be available because here for so many years he was the head coach of the rival team, and B, is this the most creative outside the like. I think
You tapped into something. These young coordinators. He's not that.
Arthur Smith with the Titans is 35 years old. Cliff Kingsbury is 38 years old. All these offensive guys, and then that's not even LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan under 40. Jason Garrett, like the book's kind of out on what Jason Garrett is as an offensive. Can he reinvent himself like Andy Reid? Perhaps, but I think it's kind of like is this really going to happen as an OC, not a head coach? All right, let's wait and see.
But is it like an okay, really, or is it like a really? That's what I don't know. I'd love to hear from Giants fans this morning.
Let's hear from them. Come on now. Benny and Hocus.
GMFB, Jason Garrett potentially might become the offensive coordinator of the New York Giants. Interviewed with them this week. We're going to introduce you to the guys who helped Derek